Okay, are we on? Are we on? All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's another week of the Great Movie Marathon. Oh, wait, hold on. I have to do the thing. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. And this week we are talking all about the Disney classic Fantasia, also known as the movie that gave us the Disney Satan. Ooh, he's a mountain. He's a devil. How fun. And also the movie that gave us the adorable ballerina hippo. I love her. She's my favorite. And of course, Sorcerer Mickey, a classic. We've already got 2 people watching. Thank you, friends. Let us know if you're watching in the comment section. And as always, throughout the chat, if you want to weigh in on the discussion, just type something. I have the power to bring it up on screen. I might get drunk with power, like Mickey Mouse with a hat, but we'll see how that goes. So, for anyone who's joining us for the very first time, the way that this live stream series has been working is that we have been watching our way through all of the films in the Great Movie Ride, the attraction at Disney's Hollywood Studios, which is now Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Oh, we got some friends here. Hello, friends from TPV Misk. Hello, Chris from Orlando. Thanks for joining us. And so, yes, we're almost near the end of the Great Movie Ride. This week's film is one of the only Disney movies that's actually in the movie ride, which is, of course, Fantasia. And the funny thing with this marathon is that all it really takes for some movies to be represented is like one single animatronic or one like short 2-second segment. And then because it's included in the ride, then all of a sudden that means that you have to devote like 2.5 hours of your life to watching John Wayne and the Searchers. Or in the case of this week, you have to dedicate 2.5 hours to watching classical music, which was exciting. We got more friends. Hello, Timikididek and Martha Yipchuk. Hello, thanks for joining us. So, as always, I am being joined today by some of my favorite fellow Disnerds, Disney fans, Disney social media conglomerate folks, and we got a pretty full house today, which I'm so excited for. I'm also like extra excited because like Fantasia is one of the most polarizing Disney movies. It's not one of those movies that everyone loves or everyone agrees could have done better. People are like split down the middle, and I think we're going to see that in our discussion today. So here we go. Let's bring on some of our friends. They don't know who's going to be on screen first, so I'm just going to leave them in suspense. Here we go. Let's start with Morgan from Teaching Disney and Mickey. Hello, Morgan. Thank you for joining us again. So remind me, last time you were here was Mary Poppins Week, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming back. So tell us a little bit about your channel for anyone who might not be familiar, and tell us about the video that you put out today for Fantasia Week.
So my channel is a Disney and teaching channel, hence the name. I have a lot of Disney content on there. Currently, I'm trying to come out with some more teaching content as the school year starts to wind down. 4 days left, thank goodness.
Congratulations.
And I have a lot of unboxing and haul content on my channel right now. And my video that I put out today was my reaction to watching Fantasia, the original, for the first time ever.
I'm so excited to discuss that. It's a movie that, yeah, lots of thoughts watching it for the first time, I'm sure. Well, I know I saw the video, but we will share. Exciting. All right. Coming in next. Ooh, Great Movie Ride favorite, Lauren from Castles.
Hey.
Hello, friend.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. So, unfortunately, you weren't here for Casablanca Week, but it's because you were doing something much more exciting. So just fill us in on that quickly. Where were you?
I was over at Disneyland, and I got to go to Adventures Campus over at Disney California Adventure. So fun. As a Marvel fan, it was a dream.
It sounds amazing. I have so many questions, but I'll ask them after the fact. So yes, so tell us a little bit about your channel again for anyone watching who might not be familiar.
Yeah, well, we discuss pretty much everything in the Disney universe. So we'll do unboxings and hauls. We do pins and pin tags. We also talk about Disney news and Disney reviews. So if you're interested in all of that, subscribe to our channel.
Deal. All right. Oh, and tell us about what you did for your video today.
Oh, yes. As with all of my videos for this collaboration, I was doodling while talking about the movie. You know, just doodling different scenes, Sorcerer's Apprentice and Pastoral Symphony, etc., etc. So it's just kind of a fun little thing I could do. Yeah, it's just fun to do it every week.
Oh, for sure. No, I was really looking forward to this week just because there were so many visual like things that you could go for with the doodling, and you did not disappoint. You gave me my dancing hippo, and that was all I wanted. All right. We have some new friends here. Hello, we got our thrifty nerdy mom. Hello, friend. We got
April.
Taylor. We've got anyone else here? Tim again. We have Morgan from Teaching Disney. Hello.
Wow.
And Ajanaclair. And you know what? Why not? Let's bring her on in. Hello, Ajanaclair.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us again today. I think the last time we had you was Alien Week, yes?
Alien, yes.
Amazing. I'm so glad to have you back for a very different movie. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. I didn't get a chance to watch the video yet, but I saw your Instagram post, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you think it was a feature film just about Sorcerer Mickey?
I did. I had no clue. That's why whenever I saw like Fantasia merchandise, I was always confused about the hippo and the other characters because I was like, are they in there? Okay. And so when I saw it and I saw like the conductor come on, I was like, okay, this is an introduction. And then I saw like blobs of color and the orchestra in color. I was like, what is this? and then like it finally gets to Sorcerer Mickey, and I'm like, that's not even the highlight of the show. It's like a little clip like buried in the middle. What is this?
My thoughts exactly.
So I had on my Sorcerer Mickey ears and like a red top, and I was like all ready for Fantasia, and I was like, no, Fantasia is about bubbles and rainbows apparently. So let me change my clothes and put on something that has like rainbows. That's what Fantasia is about: color and sound. That's it.
I love it.
That there are people in like the classical community that are throwing up all over my video thinking this girl is a complete moron, like Fantasia's so much better than that. And I'm like, okay, we can agree to disagree.
I can't wait to watch your video. So yeah, for anyone watching who might not be familiar with your channel, so Being Ajanaclair is a newer channel, and what I love that you've been doing are your cocktail series. So tell us a little bit about that and what we can look forward to from Fantasia Day.
Yeah, so I have another channel that we're not going to talk about tonight that I do with my daughter. So this is kind of like my big girl channel. And I get to do things like this, and I get to make all kinds of cocktails, which has been a lot of fun because I now have what I consider to be a fully stocked bar. Like most people in their home bars, right? They have like one or two of their favorite drinks, but because I make so many concoctions and I always have to buy something, I literally have like a fully stocked bar. Anybody can drop over, and I'm sure I have something for you.
I'm gonna take up on that offer.
Open invitation.
Party at Ajanaclair's house.
Yeah, so I do my Loungefly collection on this new channel now. I have like some Disney subscription boxes that are tailored just for me, or allegedly tailored just for me. I have a series called Cocktails and Magic that I do on this channel where I make cocktails and open up my Disney subscription boxes. I also have a series that I'm doing, a monthly series called Magical Moms, where I just recognize a mom from the Disney YouTube community and just shower some love and praise on her. And then we'll be doing some like vlogs. We'll be doing some vlogs. I live in Charleston, so we're going to start doing some like local hotel stays and touring different places around Charleston now that things are starting to open back up again.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited to see all the videos that everyone's going to like start putting out now that things are starting to open up. Like hopefully I can show people Niagara Falls soon. We'll see. All right.
So here's one of the cocktails I made tonight.
It matches your dress.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to try it. I still have to try the Ripley. That's high on my list for when I can afford alcohol. All right, next up, we're going to bring in our friend, Kaylee Hopkins. Hello, Kaylee.
Hi.
Welcome back. So remind me, you have been with us it was Mary Poppins week last we saw you,
It
yes?
was Mary Poppins week, yeah.
Brilliant. So tell us a little bit about what you've been up to on your channel since then and what you did for today.
Okay, so on my channel, sorry, my dog is barking if you can hear that. On my channel, I have a new series called Read It Thursday that I do reading videos, and my dog's he was quiet until it was my turn to come on.
He's singing.
And I have been doing just some Disney content, some pin videos. I do like little hauls from like Five Below, things like that. And I've also, most excitingly, been doing my Loki lives. I have another Loki live coming up on Saturday where I talk about the new show Loki on Disney Plus, which I'm obsessed. So I haven't seen the new episode yet.
Oh, I was just going to ask because I watched
so
it.
good.
I haven't, but I keep getting text messages about how good it is. And I'm like, y'all, I can't watch it yet. I'm dressed. That's why I'm wearing like this greenish color because I'm going to do my reaction after this. But like, I can't. I just can't. I can't wait. And today's video for today's video for Fantasia, I know because April was one of the ones that texted me.
She's texting me right now about it.
What?
April's texting me right now about it.
Well, she said that it reminded her of me, and then she didn't tell me why. So I'm like, April, tell me why. Sorry, back on track. But for today's video, I compared the musical segments and basically like ranked them from like my favorite to my least favorite because I didn't remember much. Like I used to watch this a few times like now and again as a kid, but I didn't remember like anything other than Sorcerer Mickey. And I remembered like dancing animals, like ballerinas. That was all. Yeah, dancing hippos. I think I remember the ostriches. The ostrich and like the elephant. Those were the ones I remembered.
What it looks like you, no mask on. We're gonna do like one ride and maybe like one store.
Oh, I hear someone talking. I don't know where that's coming from. All right. Awesome. Well, amazing. And moving on. Next up, we've got. Oh, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Okay, they're posing. We have to bring them in. Mike and Amanda from the Hydeland Adventures. Hello. We have a dinosaur and a Mickey. It looks like it's like I'm watching Fantasia. Is that the 10-inch Sorcerer Mickey? The Walmart?
Yes, it is.
Amazing. Am I jealous? Very much so.
He weighs a lot, too.
You. Tell us about you.
Well,
I'll take it.
Mike's been on the channel a lot recently, and I have not, so it's great to be back. So we're Mike and Amanda, and we're the Hydeland Adventures, and Mike made a drink because he knew Ajanaclair would be here. And by made a drink, I mean he poured some
a whiskey.
bourbon.
No, it's a tradition that Mike has like done in every live in honor of Ajanaclair since Alien Week.
That's right.
So, but yeah, we are Florida locals that moved here 6 months ago, and we do a bunch of Florida stuff. And
Pretty much Disney stuff. But
pretty much Disney. We
venturing out to other stuff.
You know, we changed our whole name from, the Hyde's Do Disney to the Hydeland Adventures, and we've done exclusively Disney since changing that name. So
we put a Bucky's video on Monday.
Oh, that's right. We put out one adventure.
And we did our Lakeland food truck video. See, she's not involved anymore, so I had to do everything.
It's true.
And I cooked a video. I did a cooking video today.
Yep.
Yeah, Stegosaurus tacos.
Yeah,
Stegosaurus tacos.
He hunted. Did you know that there are live Stegosauri?
Stegosauri.
In Florida, in Central Florida.
Yep.
You can hunt them.
Yeah, you can take it right out of the ankles and just chop it off and run away, and it has blood on it still.
Did Dr. Seeker help you?
Hello there.
Hello there. No, with his puppet. His puppet was the Tyrannosaurus Rex that bit it off.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, and then speaking of Dr. Seeker, I wanted to share this comment from Chris from Orlando because I know that he's a big Dr. Seeker fan. If I was smart, I would have made a Fantasia Gardens video. Chris, I thoroughly encourage you to do that anyway, and then you can belated join us. It'll be great. There you go.
So, Chris, we should go to the Fantasia Gardens and take a drink before every hole and then play our way through.
I went to Fantasia Gardens. I highly recommend. It's very challenging.
Would it be more challenging after having a drink after every hole?
Yeah. There's like literally a hole for the Nutcracker scene that it's a snowflake and it just turns and it's like 3 snowflakes in a row that are just turning over each other.
You're telling me it's giving me one more reason to get angry at the Fantasia sequence.
Yes.
What?
You're telling me that it's giving me one more reason to get angry at the Fantasia sequence.
Yes.
I mean the Nutcracker sequence.
But if you were to take like several drinks, because I think it's like hole 5 or 6, like I'm sure you'll be on the ground for it.
Oh my god.
Fantastic.
I'm big enough.
Fantasia.
I've had enough
All
drinks.
right.
It's fine.
And now, last but definitely not least, coming to our stream, back by popular demand, and by popular demand, I mean mostly mine, because she was so delightful last week, we have our good friend Jeanette, also known as Tinker J. Hello.
Yay!
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. So, for anyone watching who might not be familiar with Jeanette/Tinker J, Jeanette, tell us all about you. Who are you?
My family and I were just Disney annual pass holders. We're there as often as we can be. I'm just raised on Disney, love Disney, and my Instagram kind of covers all that. I'm from New Orleans, so there's some of that in there too. We live in Maryland near the beach, so there's some of that in there too. There's just a little bit of everything mixed in, and for today, I did one of the other things that's on there as well, which is my needle felting. And I did the broom. Woo, there it is. And the Fantasia hat, if I can turn it the right way.
Those are so good.
There we go.
Wow.
Those are so cute. Like,
So tell us a little bit about the felting process, because I don't know how that works at all. I just see you make these magical things.
Wow, that's awesome.
You take, it's like loose wool, like just loose fluffy wool, like you would card with like a brush, and then you take a needle and a special needle, and you like poke it over and over and over again until it takes shape, and then you basically sculpt it. And so that's my interpretation for today. I thought about making cookies, but oddly enough, finding a hat cookie cutter at short notice is rather hard. So I wanted to make sorcerer hats.
We're gonna have to talk backstage about this needle film.
Matt, you can make those with cat hair.
You can make them with cat hair. And I have, now that we have a cat, I almost lament that she does not shed enough for us to
We have a cat.
we will ship you some of their
We have
hair.
2 cats that you could literally groom like a full cat off of. You could brush both of them and get 2 cats worth of hair.
Yeah.
Okay, if Martha's still watching, save me some cat hair. I want to try this. Here we go. I'm going to build myself a cat.
Why don't you build like a full-size cat and then pet it the whole time you're on the show?
Well, how do you think I got that plush Lucifer that's in almost all my videos? There it is. You found my secret. All right, so this is everyone that we've got here for tonight. We got a full house. One of the things that I'm most excited about is just the fact that, from what I know, like, everyone has very different opinions about this movie. I think this is like one of the most polarizing Disney movies that people either love or hate, or you're like me and you're in the middle and confused and kind of love it and then get annoyed by other parts that are the nutcracker. But let's do a quick go around and let's just get everyone's first impressions on the movie. If it was your first time watching it, let's hear about that experience. If you have a long-standing relationship with it, tell us what that's about, and we'll just go, since Jeanette just joined us, let's start off with Jeanette, because I know you're very pro Fantasia.
I am very pro Fantasia. I grew up loving this movie. It was one of the VHSs that stayed toward the front of the shelf. I put it in, and I have, especially now with Disney Plus, I've even done it since Disney Plus has been around. I'll just throw on whatever part I feel like watching, because obviously they all have very different tones. And I would watch that, and then maybe sometimes I would watch it in its entirety. That's probably been done the least, but I would just throw on the parts that I would really feel like listening to at that time or watching at that time. And I have a lot of memories with it. My dad would explain the composers to me, which a lot of good it does now, because I still have to look them up every time I watch the movie. So, and I do feel like it's a movie that you're continually learning new things about, and it is steeped in Disney history. There's all these special things about it that aren't true about any other movie, and I think it's just very special. It's one of a kind.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that works in favor for me with it, is that since it is so segmented, you could just walk at a time, depending on your mood. Like, I fully plan to watch the Hippo Ballet sequence like a lot over the next few weeks, because it makes me so happy.
I don't know
amazing.
what it says about me as a child that I would throw on the Chernabog scene most often. So that was...
You like mountains, that's why.
Obviously.
Budding geologist. Obviously. Let's see. Let's hear from Morgan, because I know you mentioned that this was your first time ever watching the movie. So what was that like your first ever experience?
So this movie was very long before my time. I think it's long before most of our times. Yeah, if I do math correctly, I'm pretty sure. So I think I watched the 2000 version in pre-K. I think it was like put on while I was doing something, but I've never watched the original. And so I watched the original, and there's a lot of nudity that I wasn't prepared for. And I talk a lot about that in my video. And there was I grew up as a dancer. If you watched my Mary Poppins video, you kind of know that. And so the Nutcracker was right up my alley. And when he said, "Oh, no one does the Nutcracker anymore," I was like, "What? What?" And I just completely disliked the Nutcracker scene, absolutely, in its entirety. It was terrible. I hated it. But and I didn't really like the movie very much. So I felt like I was at a concert. But I didn't want it yet.
I hear you. I hear you. And yeah, we're going to get into love it, hate it. Who knows? That's going to be probably the bulk of our discussion tonight. But awesome. Let's see who. Oh, okay. I want to like spread out the opinion. Who else is kind of in the middle with me? Anyone? Amanda. Let's hear it. Let's hear from you.
So
You're wrong.
wow. I grew up watching the 2000s version. Like the Rhapsody in Blue was probably like my first real exposure to like classical music. And I just, as a jazz fan, it was just everything I ever wanted it to be. And then watching Fantasia, 1940s Fantasia, after that was like really hard for me as a kid because you go from, 2000s animation and music and Bette Midler, which did not remember that she was in that when I just rewatched it, to then, 1940s and just different music and different everything. But like, it's fine. It's very much the same style as like the Reluctant Dragon and like the Saluda's Amigo, where it's like different little scenes kind of put together. What? Yes. Not in the musical sense, but in the fact of like it's completely separate stories being stitched into like one movie, whereas now it's like, oh, we get these 10-minute Pixar shorts on Disney Plus that, if you tied them all together, it could be Fantasia 2021. But it was fine. Like, I mean, I've got on my little apprentice sweater.
Oh yeah, well, I think the one thing everyone can agree on is it gave us Sorcerer Mickey.
It gave us Sorcerer Mickey.
Yeah.
But
2 hours,
not enough Sorcerer
music,
Mickey.
worth it.
Well, it's like everything leading up to Sorcerer Mickey, like, yeah, Sorcerer Mickey, and then it ends, and you're like, what else is left? Like, she made a good point about the shorts. Like, Fantasia now, if you made another one, it would literally come out on Disney Plus as a number of shorts, and they would put it out once a week, and then you'd watch it. Like, you couldn't make that movie in full now. Because no one would sit and watch it.
There was supposed to be Fantasia, like the third installment in 2006, but because 2000 did so badly, like they already started animating it, and the sequences actually were released as shorts that we have probably all seen either before Disney or Pixar movies since then. So it kind of still exists, just not in the format, because the format I don't think ever really took off the way that Disney and everyone else was hoping it would. But yes, Kaylee, how about you? What were your thoughts on watching the movie?
Well, when I first watched it as a kid, I don't remember like loving or hating it. It was just kind of like, okay, like this is on. I didn't remember much of it, but it was hard to get through it this time around. I think I just wasn't in the mood. Like I'm the kind of person that like I like to put on like the ambient music to like study or, if I'm like working. So I think like this movie is good for that. Like I could definitely be like chill with it for that. But I can't sit and stare at my screen for 2 hours for what I watched. I mean, it just wasn't it for me. I did enjoy some of the pieces. It just like even the Nutcracker one that I did enjoy, it went on forever. And I was like, okay, like this is just too much. Too long for me.
Yeah. No, just like pacing, Disney. Come on. Pacing. What we got here? Ooh, fun story from Tammy here. Now, Tammy wasn't able to join us, but she did put out a video where she made some ears, which I highly recommend everyone take a look. But a couple days after asking where can I see the movie, Disney Movie Club sent it because I forgot to tell them I wasn't interested. I actually almost accidentally ordered it from Disney Movie Club as well. And by accidentally, I mean, like, I put it in my cart and said, maybe you'll forget and it'll be sent to you, but I was responsible and declined it. But they had this really great deal. It was like both Fantasias on one Blu-ray for like $20. I would pay
I
that.
actually intentionally bought it.
Really?
It's a classic. I should own this as part of my Disney movie collection. And now I'm like, why did I spend that money? Because it wasn't $20. Like, maybe it was $20 in Canada, but it wasn't $20 here. It was like $34.99.
Oh,
but
actually,
it was like
maybe that's what it was.
the first time Fantasia has been released from the vault. But I do want to watch it to see if it's a version that includes all of the original scenes or if it's just the same version that's on Disney Plus.
No, I think it's the same version that's on Disney Plus. Like they've
Well,
had.
then that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think ever since it went to VHS the first time, like 90s or 80s or whatever, like that's the cut that's been subsequently released the entire time. So there it is. Have you seen 2000 yet, or just the original?
Just the original. This is my first time seeing the original.
I watched them both back to back. That was commitment.
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
Oh, like I like 2000 first.
It took me 4
2000
nights
was
to
way
watch
better.
the first one.
Like how do you like what do I do with my hands? Like it's 4 hours of watching movies. Like what do I do? Like
I'm gonna be real. I had to fast forward some of it. I had to. I got to a point and I was like, okay, Tick's dead. Okay, Tick's dead. Like,
okay, so you
I just
either
got
can
the
do
gist.
that.
I got the
or
gist
just
off
watch
of
the little
like, the Tell of
segments.
the Hour and like Source. Like which to be fair, I didn't rewatch Sorcerer Mickey all the way through because I already knew I liked Sorcerer Mickey and I'd seen it like semi recently. I'd seen that part. But yeah, I mean, I think the only one I like completely watched through was Tell of the Hour, and then what was the one with the centaurs? I watched that one just because it took a turn, and I was like, "What?" I just got dragged into that one.
We all know why you got dragged into that one, Kaylee.
Well, there were several things that dragged me into that one. There were several things.
I fast forwarded through that one and then like saw that like there was a turn going on, so I played it again. But I missed like some of it because I was like, what is going on with this?
There were several turns. And like I wish I could have seen I wish I could have been filming a reaction because I literally was like, what?
So what was the moment like?
Rated?
What was the moment like when you realized that the lady in the water was actually part horse? Like, what was that moment like for you when she walked out of the water? It was like, oh, it's a centaur. I thought it was just a woman wearing flowers.
No, she wasn't wearing anything.
Matt, she was not wearing flowers.
She wasn't wearing anything.
Canada, it's the edited version.
The
It's
first
all blurred out.
one
It's like
was-
the flowers on it. In America, they don't have the flowers.
What?
You thought, wait, your version had the flowers?
I'm almost positive my version had the flowers.
No, let me come.
No,
His
no,
mind.
flowers
Hold
later
on,
in
Good.
hold
I'm gonna say good for you, Matt. His mind had the flowers. He was a pure-hearted man when he watched the movie. Good for you.
Okay, there
It
was
wasn't
one
even that.
that
It's
had
the part-
flowers.
It's the part where she comes out and then she's like shaking with her
Open Disney
I'm like,
Plus.
Matt, just turn the volume down so you don't get any copyright.
This makes so I'm positive that they were all like wearing flowers in there because everyone kept
They
mentioning
don't
nudity.
have flowers, and if you notice, the centaurettes don't have nipples, but the
Right.
harpies in the Night on Bald Mountain do.
Mhm.
Why that's allowed, I don't know. But neither the men nor the women in the Pastoral Symphony have nipples. If you know.
Well, yeah, because if they're not human, I don't know. If they're not human, why
Yeah.
do they have nipples?
Well,
right?
that was why I don't know.
Well,
but
Too
then the
hot for
harpies-
Canada.
Fantasia, I said that in my video. I was like, this is not for kids. This is not.
No, I was like skipping through some of the Chernabog one, and I literally did. It came right to the one with the nipple.
They fly into the screen.
And they made a mini golf course for this. Like,
It goes hand in hand. It goes hand
They
in
don't.
hand.
They don't have
Well,
like
the
certain.
course
They
that
don't
you
have the
is one
centaurs
nipple.
at all.
Which
I
one
think
you
they
choose,
had.
the right one or left one?
I think they had like the donkey, and that was about it. and you have to like go under something that scares you, because I remember screaming at the top of my lungs when when whatever happened. I forget what it was.
Chernobog lights up in the big cave.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, we've
Matt,
done
I'm
that
still
golf course,
waiting
like,
for you
3
to
times.
watch that. I need
This
your
is a-
reaction.
I'll film a reaction video after. I feel like it'll crash my internet if I try to watch it right now. I want to come back to this, but we didn't get to hear Lauren. What were your thoughts watching the movie?
Yeah, I with Jeanette, I'm pro Fantasia.
Mhm.
I don't know if people know that my degree is in character animation, so I
didn't
went
know
to
that.
I went to the Disney School of Animation, and I went during a time when animation was drying up, and it was hard to find jobs, and I ended up not working in animation. But my favorite part of animation actually has been
Yeah, that's the one I
history
remember.
and the history of animation.
Mhm.
And I just think to myself every time I watch it, in 1928, they were doing rubber hose animation. I mean, the characters were going like this, and and then to get to 1940 and this absolutely gorgeous animation. I saw your poll on Instagram, whether it was a masterpiece or pretentious. I'm of the mindset that it is a pretentious masterpiece.
Yes.
I think that it is. You cannot deny that it is a masterpiece, regardless of what you think of, how boring it is or whatever. The animation is top notch in that. It's beautiful. The experimentation that they did in that film was absolutely beautiful, and I love film, and watching it again. Is it one that I go to all the time? No, I have to be in the mood to watch this film, but thinking about it on a historical level, it's always going to be a masterpiece to me.
Got supporters, Lauren. There you go.
Yay! Oh, Jake.
Hi, Jake. Awesome. And yeah, well, this segues really nicely into the next thing I wanted to discuss. Just the whole question of like not appropriate for children, naked, like too pretentious, whatever. I think like this is so like it's experimental to a degree that we would never get in a mainstream way right now. And I think it was definitely more catered towards like Disney wanting to make animation for adults in a way that didn't really necessarily mesh, unfortunately. But the thing that I find really cool is this whole question of like how it visualizes music, because like when I first started going to the symphony when I was out in Edmonton for school, because that was the only thing to really do on weekends after I ran out of the movies to watch, like that was a whole different like theater event going experience for me, because I'm used to watching things when I see like plays or movies, but at the symphony I was forced to just like sit and exist in a space with nothing to look at, just music. And so the thing that I find cool about this movie is it shows us different ways that musical experience can be visualized. So I would like to know which sequence, if any, is closest to how you, everyone, personally visualize music. Like if you were sitting in a concert hall listening to music, which one of these sequences is like hand in hand with your experience of just listening? Do you like picture stories like Sorcerer's Apprentice? Do you picture weird floating lines like in that opening sequence that I didn't care for? Yeah. Morgan has her hand up.
Yeah. Mine is the first one with the hot dog buildings.
The hot dog?
So what?
The hot dog building? So like just abstract everything?
Yeah. I really like them, and I really related to them because they had food in them. They remind me of food.
I can go with that. Yeah, like I think my pick is actually the first one too. I talk about it in my video, but like when I do watch live music, I look at the musicians and the instruments and see how the pieces come together. So this was me giving into the pretentiousness. I loved like how they had actual lights lighting up the instruments while they were making sound and like different colors, and that was so beautiful. Like that's my answer. Kaylee had her hand up. How about you?
I did. I think mine is what is it called? It's not Tell of the Hour. The one with the dancing.
Dance of the Hours.
Dance of the Hour. Yeah, I think that one just because which Morgan can maybe relate a little bit to this one, but I was on dance team in high school and I danced growing up. And so like in the car for like the longest time after, like I would, when I was in high school and then even after, I would always like every piece of music, I would be dancing in my brain to it. Like I would be choreographing dance to it. So that one, that's how I always like associate music is with dance and like what kind of dance piece would be with that music. So that kind of related.
Yeah, no, and I do remember at one symphony, I made up this whole story about ferrets, like going to war in my head. So that kind of Dance of the Hours messed with that because I don't know why certain pieces of music make me picture animals doing human things. But yeah, Jeanette, how about you?
I think closest, and not just because it's my favorite segment in Fantasia, but the closest way to how I picture things is Night on Bald Mountain, just in that there's kind of a story going on there, but it's mainly just I can see characters when I hear music. Like you were talking about, you visualize animals doing stuff. Like it could be any sort of character, and then I can see them doing like vague things, like ghosts floating, demons arising, or it could be the other way, like with some happy creatures doing something if the music calls for it. But that's kind of what I imagine is a more of a vague thing, not so much a dance like Kaylee mentioned, but more just like abstract actions of some loose characters in my mind.
Cool. Ajanaclair, how about you?
I'm gonna have to go with the first one. Like when I see music, like visually speaking, like I can relate to just kind of the blobs of color and random shapes and different forms. Like that's kind of what I see. And there are like certain sounds where like I think of yellows and pinks and oranges, and then there are other sounds where I think of like reds and purples and black. And so yeah, for me, more of I don't need the music to have a form. And so I kind of like the idea of presenting it without a form, but more in terms of the color.
Beautiful. Hydeland.
Mike's not a music person, so
I have an opinion though.
Okay. Oh gosh, guys, sit back. Morgan, get your popcorn. Like,
Well, technically.
oh,
No,
you're okay.
Oh, there's a bag of that in the cabinet actually, in the
Fancy.
pantry.
I can
Those are
thank
like
Ajanaclair for these.
Muddy Buddies. You ever made those as a kid? My mom used to make them all the time when I was a kid.
If
You feel back
I
up with
burn
corn kicks
water,
box.
so no.
Was that?
I burn water, so no.
Oh, I was going to say you.
No.
My scene that represents music the most is the line where it just represents the musical.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, that's good because I was saying it represents the musical pitches, and if you think of music as an actual waveform, as a physical entity, that for me represents the most. It's the most representative of what actual music is. It's a physical waveform that transpires its way to your ears or transmits its way to your ears, but that's not the best scene. The best scene is the dinosaur scene. So you're all wrong.
And see, I was also kind of thinking. Oh my gosh, Morgan. I was also kind of thinking the dinosaur scene is kind of how I visualize music. Not so much that like I see like dinosaurs, but more of like the like monotony of just kind of like dinosaur creeping around, like doing its thing, and like kind of the like slowness of it. Like it gets dramatic, but it's also like I feel like it was like the most slow and boring. Which I mean, like music is my favorite thing in the world, but sitting back and just getting to appreciate for a second is always very nice. And I feel like that sequence makes you sit there and really want to appreciate it.
I will say that music is not pretentious.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, he has so many feelings about that, Matt.
I was watching your video and I'm like, no, music is not pretentious. Music is impossibly pretentious. It is not something that can be pretentious because it neither claims or attempts to be pretentious. It's just music. It's just noise.
Oh, yeah.
So
No, but
it's people that make it.
the music.
People can make it pretentious based off of their own personalities, but the music itself is not pretentious.
Oh no! Well, I feel like that's just art in general. The art is like the purest thing, but then when people try to impose a meaning on it, or not even try, when they're like, "Oh, this hippopotamus represents the afternoon," I'm like, "No, it doesn't. It's an adorable dancing."
It's a hippopotamus with a tutu on. I mean, come on. It's
It's clear as day.
Yes.
It's clear as mud.
Wait. Ooh. apparently, so I got distracted by the comments. There's a Rite of Spring Easter egg at Animal Kingdom, and I really hope it's a hippo that's wearing a tutu because that would make me so happy.
Well, Rite of Spring is not the hippo. The Rite of Spring is the dinosaur scene, the evolutionary period.
Can I just say that is the most historically inaccurate thing I've ever watched in my life, and as a science teacher, it made me very angry.
What about the Flintstones?
Just saying.
Well, I mean, science has changed a lot since 1940. They thought dinosaurs walked upright and their tails dragged. They weren't tail draggers. Now we know they're not tail draggers. They actually walk more like a chicken or a bird.
Chickens, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And that's your fun fact of the
I'm a
day.
huge Jurassic Park fan and a huge science nerd, so
It just made me very angry.
They tried.
I appreciated it.
The next question is going to be the sequence that made us the most angry. But wait, who haven't I asked? Lauren.
Mine is the Nutcracker Suite.
That's the one that makes you the most angry.
I know that it makes you angry that it's not Christmas, but I love the fact that they reinterpreted it, and just those fairies going around, spreading dew around to each note. It's just like I love that kind of interpretive animation.
Oh, like I think the concept is really beautiful. It still just makes me angry because I really want a Disney Nutcracker movie that's good. Mm-hmm. And to me, that was just dangling the carrot. Like, look at how talented our artists are. We could give you the Nutcracker movie of your dreams, but instead, nature. Like, ugh, no. But
screw nature.
Barbie has a Nutcracker movie that is amazing.
I was reading that to say that because I was about to say I grew up watching the Barbie Nutcracker, and like I did a reaction video to Disney's Nutcracker, the more recent one, and I was like, I just don't think anything can top Barbie. I mean, I'm a grown woman and I will still watch the Barbie. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
Mike just says that he feels old, but I think he missed the part where Morgan said that she watched Fantasia 2000 in preschool, and that's saying that she watched it in 2000 in preschool. That's not if she watched it at some point after 2000. No. And the comments agreed back a while ago.
I was in college.
Wow.
I was 3.
I graduated high school in 2002. Went to college in 2002.
I was 4. I think I was 5 by the time it came out.
I was older than some of you, but younger than Mike, so I'm content with where my age falls in this Brady Bunch configuration here. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Apparently, Barbie Nutcracker is really good. That's what my friend Luke always tells me too. I'm not going to tell him that he knows the Barbie movies so well, but he does.
If Luke says it, I'm bored.
Exactly.
I'm not watching it.
10 out of 10. I tell you. I mean, it stands up.
She doesn't go by Barbie. She goes by Clara. But it's Barbie playing Clara.
Unless it's Barbie from Toy Story, I don't care.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. It's beautifully well done.
Clara.
She's prettier than the Barbie.
Can you clarify that?
Guys, I'm going to have Mike have a couple more drinks, and we will make sure that he watches this movie.
Well, that could be our Christmas special. I can't wait.
Yes.
So now speaking of Nutcracker and how angry it makes me, let's hear about everyone's favorite and least favorite sequences. I think least favorite's going to be more interesting, but you can tell us why you like things as well. Let's start with Ajanaclair. Favorite and least favorite sequences.
Oh my god!
You can just pick one that you want to talk about.
Well, the Pastoral Symphony is not necessarily my favorite or least favorite, but it was the one that I talked about in my video. So it's the one that I feel like I'm most familiar with.
Fair enough. That it's pretty, but it's a lot of prancing, and the music isn't particularly memorable in my mind.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't talk about it for that. I talked about it for the controversy that it caused.
Ooh, tell us a little bit about the controversy.
So in the original 1940 version of Fantasia, there was another character, Sunflower, who was conveniently in 1969 removed from all of the Fantasia releases. And the reason was because she was basically a little African-American version of not a centaur, because she was like a donkey. So she may be the donkey that you see at the Fantasia Golf Place. But it was just done in very poor taste, and it was a very stereotypical portrayal of little black girl, and even for 1940, I mean, it's kind of up there with like blackface and pickaninnies and kind of those kind of stereotypical references to black people. And so, it came out, and what I talked about in my video was whether that was the actual right thing to do. I don't think taking her out of the equation was the right thing to do. I thought they would have been better off just
vamping
the character and making her look more human and less like a cartoon and an over-exaggerated racial stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
So my video kind of goes into detail as to why they should have kept the character but revamped the character to eliminate the stereotype, because by just eliminating the character, it's like, okay, either we're going to have you in as a stereotype or we're not going to include you at all. And I'm like, there's a middle ground there. Like, you didn't have to go. You can't erase black people from the narrative, but you can't treat us like we're cartoons, there to serve you for humor in a degrading manner. So, and then I think and then I kind of go on to talk a little bit about colorism in the community, because it wasn't like they eliminated all of the black characters, because then you have the two zebras who are still in the movie, and they're clearly African American zebras, and so that's the most memorable piece for me. And it's interesting because if it wasn't for the disclaimer at the beginning of the movie, I would have never known anything about it. It was because of the disclaimer that I watched Fantasia with a different eye, because I was like, oh, I've never heard of any controversy about Fantasia. Just, you think source for Mickey. And I've never heard the story before, ever. And so I'm watching it, and I'm like watching all of these scenes. I'm like seeing blobs of colors and dinosaurs. I'm like, are the dinosaurs, like, who's being offended here? And so I had to like kind of Google, like, what's the controversy behind Fantasia? And then I found the original story, and I was like, oh. So the thing that I found interesting was that all of the other Disney movies, like Dumbo and Peter Pan and Swiss Family Robinson, that they're starting to put the disclaimer on, those movies still contain those offensive references. But Fantasia doesn't contain the offensive reference, but they still have the disclaimer. So I found that to be quite interesting.
No, for sure. I think there are still like little seeds of things. Like, I think the mushrooms are kind of a point of controversy that they kept in as well. But like, I
think that's grasping at straws. But
no, it's actually it's documented by like official Disney books and stuff that is an issue, and that they
it's
just
one of those
have
things where it's like,
to not take it out because it is its own scene, whereas this was just a character within a scene, so they could remove it.
Right.
If you remove the whole mushroom sequence, it's like part of the song.
I think like that idea of just redesigning her to still have her presence is like, that would be the perfect solution. And I do think that part of the reason the sequence doesn't work now is because you feel that absence. Because like, I've watched the censored version and the uncensored version, and the parts where they just like literally took out Sunflower, the centaurs, like, those are the parts where they're just like walking around doing nothing.
When the carpet is rolling itself. Like, when she rolls the carpet is rolling itself, and it's just like, there's no other magic in this scene where things are happening on their own, but yet you have this carpet that's out of nowhere just magically rolling itself.
Yeah, no, I think that like that's it's such a good discussion to have, and I know that a lot of people, at least in the Disney groups that I'm a part of, that I mostly stay a part of just to watch the arguments happen, because that's the kind of person I am. But I know that there have been a lot of people posting saying, "Oh, I don't understand why this warning is at the beginning of the movie," and I think it's to do exactly what we're doing now, where it opens the discussion, and I think it's so valuable to. I don't know, like, it's such a delicate thing, but I think the most important thing is
does it open the discussion or does it redirect the discussion?
No, it opens it, because if you didn't have it, then
but like Ajanaclair said, if she didn't know that it was there,
movie without having any like thought or any thought of having the discussion about it.
If you didn't have a disclaimer, you wouldn't know that it's there. It wouldn't be a controversial issue because it's gone.
How so?
It's if they've already taken her out, then it's not a controversial issue. They've already rectified the problem. I think Ajanaclair's solution is perfect. It's perfect because it actually applies. It takes something that was controversial and then reapplies it in a better manner that paints this character in a better light that actually fits into the film instead of removing it altogether. I think throwing in a random disclaimer about cultural that was 40 years ago doesn't really solve anything. It just creates, for me personally, it creates more controversy because it gets people all up in arms over something and start looking for something that's not there. Then they start building, like you said with the mushrooms, like I don't understand the mushroom scene. Like, what's controversial about a mushroom? If you get offended by a mushroom, then it's you that has a problem, not anybody else. It's like it's building and building and building and building and trying to find fault in everything. And when you start finding fault in everything, then everything just crashes down around you and everything's bad.
Well, I think the mushroom scene is because it's the Asian song. It's supposed to be Asian dancers doing it, which I talked about that in mine. I didn't know about the sunflower character at all. I thought the thing with the disclaimer was there for that scene because I knew about that scene. And I think they're adorable. However, the reason that they're mushrooms is because Asians were known for wearing those big brimmed hats when they're working in the rice fields, and
again, grasping at straws. Unfortunately,
they dance with the umbrellas, and it was just, I don't know. I felt like I don't know. I was like, I don't know about that. That's a little. And then I also thought that the Greek scene, that same sunflower scene that you guys are talking about, but I thought it was more towards like I skipped through a lot of it, so I could be completely wrong about that. But Ta-Nehisi's like portraying him as nothing but a drunk, and then portraying Greeks as nothing but drunks and wine people like that. I was like, oh, that's not like the best tone to take with that. But they were emulating the god of wine, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely, it really puts this movie into perspective as being a product of its time, and also a product that was very much meant for adult audiences, I think, over like kid audiences. And it's like, first off, just the combination of that, because now we're at a point where we just associate Disney with being G-rated, family-friendly, like made for kids and for families. So when you combine that, it was like created with the intention of being for a more mature audience with what adults were used to seeing, which wasn't necessarily at all appropriate at the time. It just kind of puts this movie in such a strange space, I think, for a contemporary viewer.
I think, let's face it, there has been a lot of racist images in Disney films. I mean, if you go into like the 50s with Peter Pan and What Makes a Red Man Red, or you got Dumbo and the Crows. You got the Siamese cats in Lady and the Tramp, and they still exist in those films. Mm-hmm. I think I would like for them to just put a disclaimer and say what it is. Like, not have Ajanaclair have to search for what it was. Mm-hmm. Say very clearly, this is what is, it was a product of its time. This is not the way that Disney rolls these days. And then go from there. That's what I think personally.
Well, they try to do that, but they don't do it in full. So if you go to the website at the bottom of the disclaimer, which is like disney.com/stories matter, they have examples of what the disclaimer applies to in some movies. So that was like a perfect opportunity for them to just do it for all of the movies where you have the disclaimer. So Fantasia wasn't there. So that wasn't there, but they did have like Lady and the Tramp, and I think like Swiss Family Robinson and a couple of others, but they didn't have all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I didn't even know that resource was there. Like, I saw the website was at the bottom, but I didn't actually navigate to it. I feel like, I like that exists, at least in part. It'd be nice if they publicized it a little bit more, but like, again, I like having the information there. Even if it's in part, I feel like that's a good step. I'd like to see them embrace a little bit more, but there it is.
I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to seek out the information that they wish to seek. and at least putting it out there and making it as a resource and letting the community know that they're trying to do something. Like I said in my video, a part of this is humanitarian, but a part of it is dollars and cents. Disney is a corporation. They're not going to pull movies and lose revenue even over something that's offensive. It's something that, especially because it's something that outside of the Disney community, it would be offensive, but nobody would be balking at it. I mean, people would be balking at it, but nobody would be saying, telling Universal Studios or Sony or MGM to take it down. But it's different because it's Disney. You're in a different space. You're held to a different standard. So I think this is their attempt at kind of placating those who are offended by it while still not losing dollars. And I think that's the best we're going to get. Nobody's going to lose billions of dollars over something that's already been out there for decades.
Well said. Oh, I'm so excited to see your video and just to hear your whole perspective of it. I feel like we've gotten a good sense of it here, but I think it's such a fascinating discussion, especially again, mostly seeing how all the different ways people react to it on public forums like Facebook and Twitter and whatnot, just seeing how the conversation is either being had or being turned down or anything. It's such a fascinating topic. And especially just going back and watching movies like this and then seeing how it affects the viewing experience. For me, it it put me in a place where the sequences where it existed made me kind of uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. And then I wouldn't say it necessarily affected my viewing for the rest of the movie, but it was hard for me to separate myself from it when it was on screen. But how's everyone else feel? Do you feel like it just having that knowledge affects your viewing experience as an audience member? Is it something that affects the whole film or just isolated sequences?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking Ajanaclair for a second.
I was asking everyone, yeah.
That's something I didn't learn about till later on. You're talking about Fantasia in particular, yes?
Yep.
With the sunflower scenes. I didn't learn about that till later on. I read it in a book somewhere before the internet was even what the internet is now. Right. But after that, I did notice, I was like, oh, because they do just seem like they're walking about and preening a bit now that that's removed. And also, not that the character herself, obviously, the way she was depicted wasn't funny, but she was doing comical things. She was doing things for the girls, which is part of the problem of the character to begin with. She's doing their hair and stuff. But then they would shake off the flowers, and then, that was supposed to bring some story to that. So, she served a purpose, and it does kind of remove that. So then they do just seem like they're walking about and preening until they see, there was supposed to be a deeper story there that she was part of. And to Ajanaclair's point, it would be nice that there was still a character there doing that. There were things being done that played into scenes that are now not there. The rest of Fantasia, I mean, it's and other than, again, the mushroom scene, which I kind of got as a kid, but again, when you're a kid, you don't put all the puzzle pieces together. It's, but the rest of it, yeah, what dinosaurs, she said, the dinosaurs aren't hurting anybody. That's not what it's pertaining to. So no, when I'm watching the other scenes, I guess it doesn't come into my mind.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the nice things with this format is that you're able to just take everything scene by scene without it affecting the rest of the movie, which I think has kind of become a bigger issue with the movies like Peter Pan or Dumbo or whatnot. I think the saving grace with this is that we can still enjoy Sorcerer Mickey free of any history or historical baggage. Just Sorcerer Mickey's always going to be the thing that makes us happy with Fantasia, and then the discussion topics are still there for the other ones as necessary, but kind of still building off of that again, since all of that was tied to the time period in which it was made. And that's part of how dated Fantasia still is today. Do we think this format would work if we were to try to revive it now, 20 years after the last attempt that Fantasia was revived? Just putting together something that's so episodic and doesn't have a solid storyline in a mainstream capacity? If this came out in theaters now, Fantasia 2020, would anyone go to see it?
If it was European dance music, sure.
I think Amanda made a great point. That's what shorts are. If they put a bunch of shorts together and put them in a movie, I guarantee you those seats would be packed, and and everyone would come to see it just to see the shorts, because I mean the shorts are amazing. People watch the short playlist all the time on Disney Plus.
Mhm.
So I think if you put the name with Fantasia with it, maybe not, because they just have the connotation of boring song classical music. But if you put it like, if you did like Pixar shorts and then like Fantasia like somewhere in there, maybe, I don't know.
Well, so like they have the new one that just came out, and I cannot remember what it's called, with the couple that's older, and then they start dancing in the rain.
Yeah.
They had that with Raya. It was if you went to go see Raya in the theaters, they had that go right before Raya.
So like that
Us Again or something like that.
Yeah, Us Again. Yep. And I loved that. That's exactly what I visualize when I think of like a story arc in music of, you know, literal dancing in the rain. And I 100% think that they could do maybe not a 2.5 hour long version with, you know, classical pieces from the 1400s. But I think there is plenty of music to choose from that could keep audiences entertained for a long period of time, even though we're all very much short media people now.
For sure.
I think they could do a package film on Disney Plus, but I think in theaters it's probably a little bit harder if you're talking about classical music. But I think that on Disney Plus, if you packaged a bunch of shorts together that were music based, I think people would watch it.
Or I just had this thought. Sorry, Mike is now out of the video. Josiah's home from vacation Bible school and is covered head to toe in paint.
How colorful!
How colorful! Some imagination. And then I just totally lost. So have you guys seen, like, at the Hollywood Bowl, they do like the live orchestra and then they play like The Nightmare Before Christmas? I could totally see there being some sort of show of some sort like that, where it's a full orchestra with the animation of something. And then just like put that on Disney Plus, or just put The Nightmare Before Christmas one on Disney Plus, because I need to see it.
I've only seen bootlegs and it looked so good.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think the whole idea, the concept with Fantasia was that, I mean, I didn't do enough research to know for sure, but the vibe I get is that they wanted it to be like a concert series that was accessible to everyone just in movie theaters across the country. And that it would be a thing that constantly evolved, so that like Fantasia would re-release every year with different sequences, which they didn't do again until 2000. And yeah, like I think it's such a beautiful idea that it kind of makes me sad that it didn't come to fruition, because like I'm the kind of person who will go to a movie theater to watch like a stage play being broadcast. Or well, I haven't done. Oh no, I went to see an opera once, and it's always just like me in the theater, and then like maybe 2 senior citizens, and then that's it. Yeah. And I feel like that's just so indicative of why Fantasia didn't actually work. And like, do we think that's because people? Do we think there can be any like marriage between the two mediums, between like the cinema setting and something that's meant to be experienced live, like a symphony or like a live stage show?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I'm exactly with you. Like, I'll go see those live performances in the movie theaters, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And you know, are there tons of people that go to see it? Probably not. But I think that, you know, you could like take for instance Hamilton.
Right.
If they put that in the theater, people would go see that. I mean, it blew up Disney Plus. Yeah. So it's not to say that it depends on what it is, and you know, and but I think that definitely live performances can work.
But I think Hamilton's just slightly different because people were ready to see it because they were already ready to see it live.
Yeah,
and what was brought to Disney Plus was almost an exact replica of the live version versus classical music is something like some music is just meant to be experienced live. Yeah. And I think where Fantasia kind of went a little left in terms of what they were trying to do. I feel like what they were trying to do was bring the love for the symphony, because if you love the symphony, you love the symphony. And that was already an established audience. But I think they were trying to bring the love of the symphony to a different audience, an audience that was not going to sit in a concert hall and listen to the symphony, an audience that wanted to go to the theater and to see something visually stimulating. So I think they were trying to bring the symphony to the theater goers and to make them fall in love with the symphony through this experience of sound and sight. The problem is the visuals that they were presenting didn't necessarily capture the music.
The heart of the building.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I feel like the visuals didn't really capture the music, because like when I listen to classical music, even at home, when I have it like playing in our house, like I don't need to see anything to enjoy it, but that's because I enjoy classical music. If you find classical music boring or sleepy, like you need something that's going to be visually stimulating. And they would have been better off with a run of Tom and Jerry, like set the classical music. You know, where you have Tom and Jerry chasing each other during the high moments and kind of like being friends during the low moments. And like, I just felt like the music didn't really match the visual at times. And maybe that's where they lost the people. So now I kind of do want to see Fantasia 2000 to see if they did a better job at that.
Yeah.
It's more contemporary. I mean, they do still have parts of the old film, but like, Amanda was talking about Rhapsody in Blue. It's very contemporary.
It is very contemporary and fantastic. And I wonder,
it's also not as interpretive either. I feel it's got more of an obvious story to each of those.
Yeah, it's very
segments.
It's very storytelling driven. But I also wonder too if back in the 40s, because cartoon work and like this whole music and obviously there isn't really talking, but all of that kind of put together was still new. So I wonder if they tried to do Fantasia as a get people to understand what cartoons are and what this visual movie cartoon thing is by bringing in pieces of music that they are familiar with. I mean, I this is right out the end of the dinosaur tale, but just thinking almost the exact opposite of Ajanaclair, that they could have been doing it for both reasons of, hey, let's introduce people to the symphony that they've never heard before, and it could also be, hey, let's get these people from the symphony that we know love these pieces of music to come in because they want to hear music that they don't get to necessarily hear all the time in a new way.
Yeah.
Just giving a lull in case anyone else had something to say before I just yeah, so just kind of
the new one has Donald Duck in it.
The new one also has Angela Lansbury and Bette Midler and
Penn and Teller.
And what's his name?
The voice of Mufasa.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones.
Thank you. I was like, it's a 3 name, and I know it's not Samuel L. Jackson. I was like, what's the other one with 3 names?
I think that was, that almost made me laugh out loud when he said, answering the age-old question, what is man's relationship to nature? Then they give him the cards like, sorry, the age-old question, what happens if you give a flamingo a yo-yo?
A mango.
Oh, we got Mary Jo. Hello.
Oh, Mary Jo.
All right, and now, just because I don't think we actually got around to this, what was everybody's favorite sequence? Because I know we talked about the things that, like, either interpreted music the way that we listen to music, things that didn't necessarily sit well, but like what parts brought you joy? What did you watch and think, I
I'll
love
give
this?
you. I have all of mine ordered
Let's
from
go.
top to bottom. So I already said Night on
Ooh.
Bald Mountain is my favorite.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I love the Nutcracker sequence. The fairies were very magical for me as a child. I love them. The pastoral sequence, then Toccata and Fugue, then the soundtrack, The Little Wiggly, then Sorcerer's Apprentice, then The Rites of Spring. Is that it? That's the dinosaur one, yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Then I just have hippos written because I don't remember ever the name of that actual piece of music. and oh, now I remember, it's Dance of the Hours. It just popped in there. And then Ave Maria. Ave Maria, I usually would turn the thing off early because it was the last sequence, and that is the most. I love Ave Maria, the piece of music, and that sequence is hella boring.
It ends the movie on such a boring note. It's such a.
It's not even like a really great arrangement of Ave Maria. Either.
No, it is not.
It's a very dull arrangement of Ave Maria. So that's my ordering there.
That's a good order.
It is a good order. Oh, what we got? She's all of our spirit animals.
Yes, I agree.
That's going to be my next Disney bound. So you can see me in Epcot with her. No, I'm just totally kidding. That will not.
I have so many tutus. Can we do it together?
Bring your tutus. Those topiaries will be up in the front of Epcot for a little while longer. So let's do it.
Oh,
Ooh, that's
I can't
cool,
wait.
there
I
you
would
go.
join you. Also, how amazing would it be to actually watch Fantasia with live music?
Yeah.
That thing that I was just taught. You literally just missed my rant about this. So good. I'm glad that I was not incorrect.
Amanda, have we heard what was your favorite sequence?
I mean, Sorcerer Mickey is just classic. I mean, Ajanaclair thought the whole movie was just that. So, I mean, it must have
I'd be
been
happy with that.
like that was great. Really enjoyed the newest centaurs for just what they were. But you know, it's just Sorcerer Mickey. Like that's just it, and that's fine. But you know, going off of the Ave Maria, like I was watching, and I think I also always turned it off because I was also like a scaredy cat. I still am. So like I turned off that whole last number every time I would watch it. So I'm pretty sure when I watched it tonight, it was like maybe the second time I've ever seen it, and it just reminded me of the beginning of Sleeping Beauty when they're all like walking up to the castle, except for like a 45-minute long version. So like a really long trek up to the castle.
Well said. Ajanaclair, favorite part?
I would say my favorite part is the beginning part, the splashes of color. Like I really love watching that. Like I guess I'm a lava lamp person. Like I can sit and watch blurs of color just kind of float in and out.
I love that.
And then I did like the dancing hippo scene though. I did like the dancing hippo. But I mean anything in a tutu. When you have something that large that's that dainty, I'm like, oh, that is me.
Oh, she's so light on her feet. I do love it. And the ostriches too. I feel like they don't get no other animals get as much love as the hippo because she's clearly the star. But just the entire troupe, the ballet troupe, I love all of them. They're so good at what they do. You have like all shapes and sizes, all animals. Oh, it's
Wait,
perfect.
were the I'm confused. Were the crocodiles gonna eat the hippo? Because I was like sure of that for a good like 15 minutes.
I didn't know what the crocodile rule was.
I assumed it was like just one of those classic operatic, melodramatic, like chase sequences where it's like, I'm going to get you.
I think they wanted to get a animal that was thin up against an animal that was huge, and to find the humor in that. And so I think that's really what it was the alligator represented just something smaller than the hippo.
Gotcha. I was really scared. I was like, is this how this ends? What the heck?
Haven't you ever fallen in love with your dinner, Morgan? Come on.
I'm dying laughing at the comments here, just because of how I was reading them. Rolling with Orlando made a comment, and then the next one underneath it was Martha. And all I saw was that would have been amazing, and I really thought it was in reply to that comment, and I was like, "Oh, Martha." And then she prefaced it with, "I saw E.T. and the Wizard of Oz," and I was like, "I love you, Martha." Guys, read until the end of the comment. Just
For your own good.
But yes, actually, yes, I was with Martha both times when we saw E.T. and Oz with the symphony, and like it's amazing. I can't say that I've done it with like any outside stimulus, but still, it was fantastic. Loved it all. Morgan and Lauren, favorite sequence?
Go ahead, Lauren.
Okay.
Oh,
Mine are the Nutcracker Suite and Pastoral Symphony.
My bottom two?
What?
My bottom two? How dare
I know
you,
your
Lauren?
bottom tier. Your bottom tier is my top tier. There's just something about Nutcracker Suite. I just love the music from that, and then I just love the fairies going around. It's just very, to me, just so it just makes me happy. And then the Pastoral Symphony, I'm a big Greek mythology fan, so to see that come to life, that's a thrill for me. So those are my two favorites, and then Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Oh, of course.
Did people know that was the first appearance of Mickey as he appears today with the white eyes?
Really?
Yeah. Walt wanted him redesigned for this movie, and so Fred Moore took the task of redesigning.
Mine has blue.
Yeah, mine are black. What gives? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand what's happening.
I know, right? Exactly. I'm talking about the movie version.
Another
Love
vote for
the
the
goldfish
Dancing Hippos.
sequence.
I have a question.
Rite of Spring? Yeah.
Where are you people all seeing these movies with live music? That sounds so awesome. I've never even known that was a thing.
Yeah,
Right?
for me and my mom, they were both in Toronto. One was with the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. One was a touring production of E.T., and they didn't actually credit where the orchestra was from. When I was in Edmonton, the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra did a program of Looney Tunes cartoons with live music, and yeah, I think there are certain productions that tour, like they'll go to symphonies and be like, here's the music, you provide the musicians, we'll provide the thing to put on the screen and go. At least that's the case here in Canada.
I was going to say, here in America, the Hollywood Bowl out in California is where they, like, the big ones get done. Outside of that, I don't know. I'm sure they do them in other places.
They do them all over. Usually if you have some sort of, like, I know in New Orleans, it's the Mahalia Jackson Theater. Up here in DC, there's like the Lincoln and whatever the major theater is in your area where a symphony orchestra would be able to play, somewhere like that.
Yeah, it is amazing, depending on what the content is. Wizard of Oz was tricky because there's so many musical cues that like have to sync up with the dialogue that it wasn't in sync sometimes. And since I know that movie so well, it annoyed me so much when like things were just off by like a slight beat. So it wasn't perfect, and that didn't work for me. But like E.T., since it's just all like underscoring, that was magical. Like there were tears. It was so good. So good. But yeah, but Morgan, have we heard your favorite?
I don't think so. It's not the hot dog scene. I can tell you that much. I swear they look like hot dogs. I even screenshotted it to put it in my video. I think my favorite scene is probably Fantasia Mickey, or the what was the other one? The hippo one. I don't know the names of them.
Solid choice.
But yeah.
Hippo is Dance of the Hours. That's the one. Oh, Harry Potter with the symphony would be so good.
Yes.
John Williams, really.
Oh, that
I think
would
someone
be
had
Yeah.
also mentioned they saw Star Wars with the symphony.
I think
that
that's the most common one to be able to see. Oh, that's what I see advertised the most often is Star Wars done.
Yeah, and I think I actually saw once. I don't know how they
Star
would have
Wars.
coordinated it, but there was a symphony that was playing along to, I think, Legend of Zelda or some video game. Someone was
They
playing
were
a video
they did
game.
a Nintendo one where they did like all the classic Nintendo theme songs.
They 100% did a Nintendo one. My 4-year-old can tell you all about it. I'm sure he is Mario obsessed, and he would put any orchestra to shame on his rendition of all of the songs.
I would pay to see that. Amazing.
I will try and get a video of him singing it. It's the cutest thing because he doesn't like sing, like his ABCs or like Twinkle Twinkle. Oh no, he just goes around and he sings like do, 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 and he like runs around like he's got his little star. Kids.
My 4-year-old sings Hamilton songs.
Well,
She can recite the whole scene
Same.
from "All right, all right, all right."
well, I'm not drinking, and Mike's drink is gone, but this is to your. Let me raise a glass to your 4-year-old.
A toast to the groom.
Video in the group chat.
Right.
She's always like, "Mom, turn the camera off. Let's just have fun." And so I can't ever really capture her in the moment.
It's amazing.
I would love to see a 4-year-old doing
snippets.
Satisfied.
I'm giving up my title of best mom that I've self-acclaimed to myself and giving it to you because until my son knows Hamilton, it's over. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
Hamilton doesn't have a second act.
Oh my gosh, that's right, Mackenzie.
What are you serious?
Let me just tell you.
It starts with helpless and ends with satisfied. That's it.
I wish.
No, if we're gonna talk about scenes that get skipped over in movies, let's talk about it. Like,
Oh my gosh.
All of Act 2 for Hamilton for me. No, I do like Act 2, but I think Act 1 for me is more enjoyable, listenable. Mostly Helpless. I love Helpless. Like I'll listen to that 4 times in a row while I'm driving, and then just sing along with what's her face with Philippa. Oh, I love her. She's so talented. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So we got kind of off track, but not really, because this leads into the next thing, music appreciation. Because prior to this, I asked everyone who's coming on the stream to think of if we were to build our own Fantasia, like Fantasia 2020. You get to pick a song and an idea for how you would like it to be visualized. Let's build our Fantasia. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Morgan.
oh, everybody.
No. So let someone else. Mine's a good ender.
Ender, okay. Mine's good for the middle.
All right, go ahead,
It's a
Lauren.
good opener.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
My favorite classical piece is Paco Bell's Canon D. The one that goes do 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 do.
Oh yeah.
Do, do. And I love that song. I would totally see it as a wedding song. And I would make it a wedding between Max and Roxanne from the Goofy movie.
Yes.
And that's the way that I visualize it.
That's adorable.
That is adorable. Oh, that's beautiful. Actually, then I'll segue into mine because I was sort of caught between two. For something that's a bit more classical contemporary, I was thinking that Sing, 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 the swing song that's like used to set the mood for every 1920s, 30s scene in every movie ever. And it's one of my favorite songs ever, especially like the classic Benny Goodman recording. So I was thinking, since Fantasia has the tradition of giving one of the like core characters some kind of showcase piece, it could be a Goofy piece where he's trying to do something and failing. So it could be him trying to prep for the wedding. And so it's Goofy trying to prep for Max and Roxanne's wedding, and then it's all going awry, and then it transitions into your piece. That's my proposal.
Let's make it happen.
Deal. Done. So we got that sequence. Who's next?
All right, I'll go next.
Okay.
Well, man, how do you follow that up? Well, the only logical thing to kind of go from, a nice preparing for the wedding, and the wedding is I want a symphony rendition of NSYNC's No Strings Attached album to be animated. Now, I see this very much. Everything would be puppets. Like, duh. Like, of course it's going to all be puppets. Very, like, Sound of Music, like, Lady Hoo. I'm not really sure what the storyline is. I mean, maybe the storyline is just retelling, like, I don't know, something with no strings attached. But yeah, I was like, I want like full symphony, like that whole album. That's amazing, Mackenzie. But like classical music wise, anything Chopin, I will take any sort of anything because Chopin is my favorite.
I always think of Chopin as Chopin. If anyone saw It Takes Two with the Olsen twins, then just in my mind, that's classic Chopin. Is just whichever twin that was, just pounding on the piano. Nothing will ever beat that. None. Jeanette, I realized I forgot to include you on the.
It's okay. I had the piece of music. I threw it on real quick just to like get some things moving in my head, and I came up. It's okay.
What have you got?
I know the piece of music I would choose. I would choose For Elise, and the fact that it has not been done in a Fantasia style, it boggles my mind.
How is that possible? It's literally like every music person ever that goes to anybody's house with a piano plays For Elise. Like
yes,
yeah. And then if you see in Fantasia 2000, they also bring up that Flight of the Valkyries wasn't done, and that it was originally proposed for another Fantasia that never happened. So, but Flight of the Valkyries would be a good one. But For Elise is my like all-time favorite piece of classical music, and I think there's a lot of different ways I could go with it. My mind does always stray towards the dark side. So I was trying to think of something a little bit happier. And I think that you could do, because of it, how it speeds and then it slows, watching maybe either someone grow from an infant to death and like having certain parts of their life take up more screen time, something animated like that, more of like a Fantasia 2000 take on it where there's an actual storyline. Or something more abstract, like we could start with where Rites of Spring was and have the Earth and do the Earth, maybe not to completion because that's a little too dark, but like just maybe into a very distant future and use it too. But it just feels like a very like moving. The song feels like it's traveling, it's going somewhere. So those would be my proposals.
I love it. We've got some good ones over here too. Chris from Orlando says 1812 Overture, which would be epic. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that the one they do at Muppet Vision?
Yes.
No. Is it?
Wait,
yeah.
I think so.
That is? It's an overture of some. It's an overture. I don't know. They're
so.
all grouped in.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris from Orlando. I think is 1812 or anyone on screen. Is 1812 the like that's part of it. It's like
or the dun 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 dun. Well, no, that's our stars. Though that's
well, Matt, the one you're talking about is the William Tell Overture.
That's
I don't know if
that's
okay. See, and I'm probably just getting them both confused in my mind.
Oh, so then what's 1812? Okay, I need to know. And then what do we got here? Moonlight Sonata, another one.
Oh,
solid.
Oh yeah.
So Chris from Orlando, I need you to type the melody for me for 1812. Good luck. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Cool.
I'm not too
Matt, now that you know what it is, can you sing it for those of us that don't know what you're talking about?
Thank you.
Canon in D minor.
Is there any melody with that, or
is it just
Canon?
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, I think I might be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What?
Yes. Cheers. Morgan or Ajanaclair, what are your picks?
So my picks, you said any genre, so you guys are killing me with the classical. But
hey, I gave you No Strings Attached.
You did. My picks were a symphony performing Bohemian Rhapsody and We Are the Champions.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I've done it. I have 100% performed with a full choir and a full orchestra, a Queen set, and it was the best thing I've ever performed in my entire career.
Yeah, anything by Queen. Support it.
What would your animations look like, Ajanaclair?
So I would think I would want them to animate the final battle scene in Endgame.
Okay, so we're talking like it's gonna be like, you know,
like when
we will rock you, and then like Robert Downey Jr. is just gonna be like, I paid my dues.
No, the part where that would come where Cap is down. His shield is broken and all is lost and you don't know what's happening and all you hear is Cap, come in, Sam. And then you go into
So
Or
like
just-
when all the portals are opening, that's when the music
and all
starts.
the
Like I would
portals
try
are opening,
so hard.
that's when you just start having like bangs of like flashes
Oh
of
my
sound.
gosh.
Now I'm trying to think of where in that scene like Bohemian Rhapsody fits in, because like We Are the Champions, like totally got it. How does
No, Bohemian Rhapsody would be kind of like the build up. Like
okay,
the
I'm like
before
how
that.
does,
We Are the Champions would definitely be the actual.
because now all I can see is
Right.
Thanos being like, I see a little silhouette of a man.
But this would also not be like necessarily with the words, right? This would be the symphony, so you would get the actual just the music. Because I mean, for me, like live
Oh no, what
orchestral
horrible time.
music, like whenever you go to like the theater, you feel it, especially like when you have like the bass come in, you can feel the music, and there are certain scenes where you would just feel that. So yeah.
Oops.
Lauren as our resident drawer, gonna need that. Oh, hold on, we have a special member of the
Oh,
Hi, hello, friend.
you all
Wanna say
clean
hi?
now?
no. Okay. Well,
Is he gonna
they're
sing
all
Mario
clean.
for us?
What?
Is he gonna sing the Mario song for us?
Can you sing the Mario song for them? They've never heard it.
No, Mackenzie, we want this on the big screen box office.
Can you do the
for
Star
sure.
song?
I love it.
Oh, start doodling. There we go.
Oh, and he knows the underground one too.
Rousing applause.
I love you. All right, say goodnight, everybody.
Applause.
Yes, there's one more song now.
Oh, he has one more song. We have an
One
encore.
encore.
Yeah, No, that song now.
Oh, you know that one now?
Yeah, I know the one that he died now.
Oh, okay, that's great. Have a good night, buddy. I love you.
Okay.
Bye.
I'm so happy we had live music. I was trying to
Josiah,
think
ladies
of
and
a way to-
gentlemen.
I was trying to think of a way to get some humming into this. I couldn't work the
Okay. Oh,
game around it. I tried, but that was everything I wanted.
Josiah is my best friend, for those of you that didn't know.
Man, I'm really glad that this now is going to be on the internet, because I can never get him to do it. And he's usually also very shy. So I'm very glad that's now on the internet. Anyway,
That's
It's
cute.
preserved.
I
It's
love
preserved forever.
is there,
We're gonna
Lauren, you can
animate
also animate that if you'd like.
Yeah, that's going to be the
Yeah.
opening for a Fantasia movie. And just thinking about this Queen Avengers thing, like I'm picturing it animated in like full comic book style, which I think is a style that we haven't seen in Fantasia yet either. Which, like, it would be so.
Oh, and that would be so
beautiful.
cool.
Yeah. Morgan, what's your Fantasia?
So my Fantasia would be the finale, and it would be literally the Disney theme song, like at the start of every single movie, the Disney theme song, and it would go through every single castle that is known in the Disney universe.
Oh my gosh, I
That's
love it.
awesome.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think both movies ended very for me. Like you need a big epic ending, a giant epic ending, like
Dun,
and Disney
dun,
castles
dun,
would do
dun.
it for me, or cannons. Or Beethoven.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
See, we're getting so much support for our Fantasia movie. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so I actually want to move into the game now.
Okay.
So, if everyone, if you don't have a piece of paper or something to write with, try to get something, or you can just type on your phone. This is going to be one of those games where you have one of two choices. It's inspired by a round from my Teacup Trivia, my anniversary show. Or not even a round. It's inspired by like a single question that I just had so much fun with that I decided to make it the whole game, which is it cheese or is it a composer? So I am going to bring a name up on the screen, and you have to tell me if it is the name of a European cheese or the name of one of the composers who composed something from either Fantasia movie. So you can just write
love
down
this.
cheese or
Matt,
composer.
I hate your games.
I really wish that Mike was here because he doesn't know music, but he knows cheese.
Cheese?
I kind of designed this game for Mike for that exact reason.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get him back in here.
Okay. Oh, and I didn't come prepared. I
I don't know any of their names.
Good luck.
But do you know cheese, Morgan?
But
No, I'm lactose intolerant.
so am I. High five through the screen.
Okay.
Oh,
hold on.
I was going like that. Down.
Oh.
Bam. There you go.
Okay, I am ready.
I am not. Hold on. I was gonna draw a cheese wheel. I can't draw. So
There's a cheese museum in Amp. You get to taste the exhibits. That would be. Oh, I'm making so happy.
Wow.
Now, because I probably can't pronounce these, I do have title cards that are going to come up.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Okay.
So, everyone
this
ready? Here we
cheese
go.
looks like Pac-Man.
3, 2, 1, cheese. So, or composer, whatever. So the first one, cheese or composer. Gershwin. Is this cheese or a composer? Okay. Okay. And you all got it right. It's a composer.
Mm-hmm.
If I get any of these right, I thank my sister.
Now, I mean, I was going to do a bonus round where it's like, tell me what they composed, but too much writing. But does anyone know?
Or where the cheese is from.
Yes.
Yes, Gershwin was the one in blue, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Rhapsody in
Yeah,
Blue.
Rhapsody in Blue. That's it.
Very good.
I
All
was about to say
right.
Bohemian Rhapsody in Blue, and that's not right.
That's the mashup we didn't know we deserved your name, but we do.
Ready for it.
All right. Next up, here we go. One that I apologize to all French, Italian, and varied European folks watching for all the butchering I'm about to do. Here we go. Faciel.
I believe it's facile, but I could be wrong.
Oh. I'm going to be so embarrassed.
And it is a cheese.
Oh, my.
Yay.
Reveal cheese. There we go. So
I-
everyone got a point minus Tinker J.
Meh, meh, meh.
But don't worry, you're going to emerge like a phoenix. I believe in you. All right. Next.
That's a big image.
Okay. Beethoven.
Beethoven.
Seriously.
I love the emphasis, Matt.
I'm not a cheese connoisseur. I don't know.
Matt.
Just kidding. It's a composer and a large dog. There we go.
Yeah.
Who had a whole run of movies.
He did. I know. Far too many. Oh wait, no. It's Airbud who had too many movies.
Correct.
Facial I'm fine with. Okay. Next up. Macroness. One for cheese. Okay. And the answer is cheese.
Wow!
It's a
Yay.
French goat cheese.
Yes,
There
it
we
is.
go. Oh, have you had it?
It's delicious.
Oh, I mean, doing the research for this made me very.
I didn't think you would be so predictable, Matt, and do a composer, a cheese, a composer, a cheese.
Oh, just watch out.
My trivia is all about mind games. We should know this by now. Okay.
It's
next.
neither. It's neither composer nor cheese.
Oh no, I guarantee all of these are composer or cheese.
Is there any that are both?
No, I tried. I did try. No such thing seems to exist. Okay. Masor Gisgele.
Feel like
Oh, we're split.
yeah. I
I'm
feel
nervous.
like it's like a Scandinavian cheese.
See, and I was thinking it was a Scandinavian musician.
Dang!
What is it?
I think, if memory serves, I think it's Night on Bald Mountain. I think it's the guy who did Night on Bald
Really?
Yeah.
I think I know that.
Yeah.
then. No.
I knew there was one that
I
started
don't
with an M. That's why I said it the last time, because I was like, oh, he won't do a cheese. And there was one that started with an M.
Actually, that was what I was thinking. I was like, I'm going to try to find as many cheeses that sound like names of composers in Fantasia.
You know what's
And-
sad? I have a Fantasia book sitting right here. Like I could just cheat, but I'm not.
It could be
I'm
open
just-
book. Next, Poncelli.
Don't do that.
I'm throwing a bone to you guys. I didn't want to completely blow you out of the water.
You would be tied. I think you're tied with Lauren.
And it is composer.
Yay.
No, that was
Dance of
a
the
complete
Hours,
lie. I
right?
had no idea.
Dance of the Hours.
Like, you don't have to let me win. I don't like people letting me win. I like to win views on my
Girl.
own.
I had no idea.
You don't know you're the best unless you go up against the best. So bring your A game.
I'm trivia with Ajanaclair. This is awesome.
I love it.
Dang!
Hey,
As
where's
I
it-
lose almost every trivia thing right, Morgan? Oh my god, I'm so
Oh
bad at
my
this
God.
trivia.
I need to see your glass, Ajanaclair.
It's empty.
Okay, that's what I was making sure of.
Ah.
You've been so stealthy. I haven't even noticed you sipping that this entire time. Last time I saw it was this beautifully layered masterpiece.
I
You know when her
that
video
was.
glitched for like 15 seconds? That's when she drank the entire thing.
Way to do it. Okay, next. Cacio Bello.
Calvo.
That's the one. You're all right. It's a cheese.
Yay!
An Italian stretched cheese curd.
Ew.
Mm. No, that sounds amazing.
No, it sounds so good. Just
Here for
imagine
all
the
the-
poutine you could do. Oh,
I was gonna say Italian poutine.
Yeah, exactly. Just
actually,
like our
I'm-
ancestors wanted.
I'm a poutine purist. Anything that's beyond like cheese curds and gravy is not a poutine. It's like a melt of some kind.
Italian nacho disco fries.
You sound like my ex.
These things are very important to be specific about. Okay. Next, we've got Scamorza. You're all right. It's a cheese. Another
Yeah.
Italian cheese. Okay. How's everyone doing in the comments? Downfall of having these fun little banners is I can't see the comments, but looks like everyone's doing really well.
Italian poutine is spaghetti and meatballs.
Mackenzie?
Whoa. Well, my world just changed. Okay, this is the last question before the bonus round. Here we go. Saint-Siens.
People are making me double guess myself.
Okay. You're all right. It's a composer. It's the one that did Carnival of the Animals with the yo-yo and the flamingo.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wait, was it a yo-yo? I thought he said mango.
No, yo-yo.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was doing. Imagine if you could
I
do
skipped over it. I skipped over it. It was too. I just couldn't do it anymore.
That's like one of my favorite Fantasia sequences ever. The flamingo is hilarious.
Well, at that point, I was 3 hours in, and I was like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah, that's respectable. All right, I'm going to give you all your scores, and for the final round, you can decide how many points you would like to wager. So, Morgan, you have 8. Lauren, you have 9. Ajanaclair, you have 8. Amanda, you have 8. Jeanette, you have 7. We're all very close here. This could be anyone's game. So decide how many points you would like to wager, and tell me right now, Morgan.
8.
8? Oh my. Okay. Lauren.
I'm also going to go for 9. I'm going to
9?
go big.
Okay. Going all out. Ajanaclair.
Go 8.
8. Okay. Amanda.
Go big or go home. 8.
Okay. Jeanette.
I have to go all in then.
All in. All right. Oh,
Look like a fool.
wow. Okay, here we go. Last and certainly, well, it is kind of least.
Oh.
Telegio. All right. Reveal your answers.
Oh, no. Wait.
It is an Italian cheese. Our champion is Lauren.
Woo!
Congratulations, Lauren.
Does he get Telegio cheese?
Yeah, it's an Italian cheese. Italy has a lot of really delicious looking cheese. That's like what I'm going to tell you right here, right now. Yeah, how did everyone do in the chat? Let me know. Were you keeping score of your own points? Because I wasn't, because I couldn't see you. But it looks like everyone did pretty well in the chat as well. Fantastic. So, Lauren, your reward is a lifetime supply of Punchielli.
Wow.
Yes. So much punch.
Which I can access on my to any music app.
Exactly. Oh, Chris from Orlando got 100%. Awesome. Well done, well done, well done.
I know Mackenzie probably got all the cheeses right.
Oh, well, of course. And then by process of elimination, you should just know, well, if it's not a cheese, it's a composer. There you go.
Well, did she go through like her entire like backlog of how many cheeses she knows and is like, well, like composers easy. Like, okay, there's, 8 composers in Fantasia. There's 8,000 types of cheeses.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Actually, yeah. Yeah. Now I'm just hungry. Not thinking straight. I want food. Anyway, there we are. So, wow, we're almost at 2 hours. This has been so much chatting about music, cheese, and everything. Does anyone have closing thoughts or anything that you'd like to address about Fantasia that we haven't talked about yet?
It is not a kids movie.
Wow.
I was just going to say, I think it's a great way to introduce children to classical music. That's what it did for me. I did find classical music to be very boring when I was a kid. And this and the interview with the vampire made classical music very interesting for me.
Watch Fantasia 2000 because the Rhapsody in Blue is my favorite sequence in all of them.
It really is good.
And also, Matt, quick question for you because wouldn't be a week on the live stream if we didn't bring this up. What do you think Miss Piggy's favorite scene would have been?
Dance of the Hours.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Obviously.
like
That's the one that needs to be Muppet-fied too. I mean, come on. That's like that's so obvious. That one is perfect.
Very much.
There he's here.
Just in time for cheese.
It's a jolly haul. But I want to also think outside the box and think like, what is the least obvious Miss Piggy sequence, and how could I work her into it?
The dinosaur one?
That is
the pastoral one, and have her be half.
That's
pig,
a
half
game
horse.
for the next film.
I picture Miss Piggy trying to just like add words to Toccata and Fugue at the beginning. So like they're playing the instrumentation and then Miss Piggy's adding her own lyrics. Actually, so yeah.
Can
That's
Miss
my
Piggy be the Greek god of wine? Like,
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
because I was
Oh
trying
my
to
God.
picture her as like a centaur, and that just really bad
very strange,
images.
yeah.
So
No, can you imagine her as Artemis trying to shoot the star
Oh my
across the
gosh.
sky, and she falls off the moon?
Or Diana, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, or she's just. I picture Piggy being every god / goddess in that sequence, just constantly changing costumes.
I want to see that. I
Just like
wanna see
pushing
that.
the actual goddess out of the way and taking
Yeah.
the spotlight.
Oh, classic.
and then all of a sudden, just we are the
Are the
champions. Full circle. Got it.
Love it, love it. Oh, and we got this. Miss Piggy would be the goddess of wine. She's basically a New Jersey.
Hey,
The cup.
Oh my god, that's
Come.
perfect.
Anyway, Ajanaclair, closing thoughts.
I'm so lost right now.
You're like, what were we talking about?
And we just had the most ridiculous conversation, and now like I'm just like lost because he said he ordered dinner the last time we spoke, but he's going to pick it up, and I'm like, but babe, we spoke like over 2 hours. I've been on this live almost 2 hours. How have you not picked up dinner yet? Like,
Where's the dinner?
Where's my food? Where's my cheese?
here I am thinking he's downstairs with dinner. All of you saying he didn't pick it up yet. Like it's almost 10 o'clock.
It'll be extra fresh, though. There you go. It hasn't been sitting.
But it has been. He said he
Yeah.
ordered it when he talked to me. That was like 2 hours ago. It's probably not even there anymore. They probably threw it out. Oh man. Ugh.
We have gone off the rails.
Okay, so
So those are my closing thoughts.
I like it. I hope you get a delicious dinner, whatever it may be. That is my
Better story than Fantasia, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I think the underlying message from Fantasia was it's okay to be naked.
As long as there's classy music in the background.
Yeah. As long as it's
Classy
classy music playing, you can do anything you want naked.
You want. It's a Disney bound. There it is.
Yep.
And I thought I was pushing it with the hippo costume.
Thanks, Connor.
Closing thoughts. I need
I
cheese.
don't know that they would even let you pass the front gate.
No.
No.
Where's the topiary for that? Like,
Oh my gosh. Okay. Lauren, closing thoughts.
I don't even know. I don't know. And I'm so like a Ajanaclair. I'm so lost.
Okay. Well then, with that, let's just do a go around. Everyone, tell us your channel. Tell us where we can find you on the internet. And yeah, everyone watching, if you're not following all of these friendly faces on screen, please do so, as well as Kaylee, who had to leave us a little bit early. I think she's watching Loki right now, and I'm probably going to do the same as soon as this wraps up. So yes, let's start with, we'll go clockways. Morgan.
What am I doing?
You're
Sorry.
gonna tell us who you are, tell us what your channel is, and anything else you want the nice people watching to know about you so they can follow you.
Oh, okay. My channel is called Teaching Disney. It's right there. I'm on Instagram as Morgie, MORGIE, BEE 789 on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, which I just posted a Disney girl goes to Hogwarts TikTok. Amanda watched it. She
10 out of
liked
10.
it.
Fantastic watch.
And I'm on TikTok as Teaching Disney as well, so you can find me there. And coming up on my channel, I have an awesome pin tag with Ajanaclair. I don't know where she is. She's there. On Saturday coming out. I'm also currently moving to Orlando within the next month, as well as finishing up school in the next 5 days. So I got a lot of stuff coming out about that. And, hopefully annual passes will be back and my life will be complete.
Amazing. Well, look forward to all of that. And are you on Chris's live stream tomorrow? Are you on?
Oh my goodness. Yes. I'm on Chris from Orlando, who is in the chat. I'm on his live stream tomorrow. And then I'm on Walt Disney World Adults Only's live stream on Sunday afternoon.
Nice. So check those out because we love them as well. And yes, thank you, Morgan. You're not kicking you out. I'm just taking you off the screen. All right. Next up. Oh, sorry. We've got some fun closing thoughts here. Rolling to Orlando says, for Fantasia, it might be boring, but its purpose is to expose people to arts and culture. I love that. Muppet live stream. This is something that has been much discussed. And once Great Movie Marathon wraps up, that actually might be the project that takes its place. I've discovered lots of people like talking Muppets, and we've had this unofficial discussion I like to call Make It Muppet, where we just, like, it was Mike Hyde's creation, where we have a movie and we're like, how would we redo this as Muppets? So stay tuned, because that might be the next big live stream series. It's going to be awesome. And Mary says, everyone, thumbs up. Yes, please do. And please, everyone, subscribe to all those who are on screen and all those who are in the chat, because this is an incredible community and I love everyone. Speaking of people I love, Lauren, tell us about you.
All right. Well, I have a YouTube channel. Also down here, Castles, Capes, and Clones. Also on Instagram, Castles, Capes, and Clones with an and instead of an ampersand. In the next couple weeks, I'm doing a lot of the vlogs that I did when I was at Disneyland. I have my Avengers Campus one went up yesterday, so if anybody wants to see that, that's fun. And I can't even think of what I was going to say next, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lauren. And we will see you next week for Oz. Huzzah! All right, Ajanaclair, same question.
So my channel is Being Ajanaclair, and I do a lot of cocktails and unboxings and lots of cocktail collabs. So I have one coming up on Sunday for it's a villains cocktail collab. So it's like 20 plus channels all doing villains themed cocktails, no duplicates. So everybody has a different villain. I'll be doing Maleficent.
So
Look at you.
That should be fun. That's coming up. And then on our other channel, I still have a ton of like hauls and unboxings from Mickey Loot and Disney hauls and all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm also doing a small shop Loungefly series on Being Ajanaclair. So in addition to showing my bags, I'm also giving lots of good information about the various small shops where I purchased them from. So not just like loungefly.com or Shop Disney.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Oh, can't wait to check that out. I'm never going to collect Loungeflies myself, but I like to live vicariously through my YouTube feed because, all my money goes towards these things. There we go. All right. Thank you, Ajanaclair. Next up, Amanda, same question.
Well, I am Amanda, 1/3 of the Hydeland Adventures. Mike was on earlier, and Josiah came on earlier, and he's really the light of the show because every video that he's in does like 10 times better than the ones that Mike and I are in, and that's fine. I've accepted that. I don't know what we have coming up on the channel because Mike does everything now, which is great. But we are doing stuff locally here in Lakeland. So we've been doing like food trucks, and we're going to do food reviews from local places, as well as Disney, Universal, the beach, whatever else. I will not be on Chris from Orlando's live stream tomorrow, but I just wanted to show off my trophy from last year's Disney Parks Trivia Master of All.
You've already won. It wouldn't be fair to us.
Well, you're just lucky that I had a time issue. But that's where I got to meet Matt for the first time, was over there like a year ago. And I remember being like, dude, that guy's so cool. Like, we'll never be friends. And now somehow here we are a year later. I've got him like on my speed dial, ready to go. And
me too.
I mean, you're not, I will say you're not in like my favorites list, but you're always in like the top of like my text messages. So that's fine.
Just to let you know.
I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
It's literally like Mike and my parents are the only people in my favorites. So don't be offended. But yeah, that's us. And every Monday and Thursday, we've got videos coming out. And we just love being on these live streams with you guys. And we can't wait for Oz next week.
Yes, it'll be magical. Thank you, Amanda. Ta-ta. And Jeanette, huzzah. Same question. Where can we find you? What can we look forward to seeing in terms of content on your channels or your
on my Instagram? So I'm on Instagram at TinkerJ787. My husband's on there too. He actually has more followers than I do. He's Disney Daddo, so DADDO. And so he's got a lot of our photos from our past trips. I posted my needle felting today. It's a big mix of things, but the next time we go to Disney, it'll be on there. It'll either be the end of the summer or October. And right now it's beach season here in Maryland, so you can count on seeing a lot of footage from the beach. And I cook for a living, so that's on there too. So that's all that's coming up.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us again, Jeanette. You are a delight. We will see you on the gram. Off we go. All right, friends. And once again, my name is Matt. I have 2 degrees. Thank you so much for staying with us for 2 hours in like 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 hours. You stayed with us for 2 hours. That's brilliant. Thank you, friends. So yeah, make sure that you follow everyone who was here as a part of the stream today. Check out their videos to see what they had to say about Fantasia, and join us next week for the big grand finale of the Great Movie Marathon, where we will be talking about my favorite film of all time, also the greatest film of all time, The Wizard of Oz. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Otherwise, please do the usual things like comment, subscribe, all of that great stuff. And I adore you all. That's it. Thank you. Fare thee well. Go away. How do I end this?